guys, it's Shock here, and I got the round 3 match in the T-Flare Substandard Tier Tournament, the Sweet 16. So if I can, I'm matched up against NightNHawk. Now I had to ask Lena and Mai for an extension so we could do this match. So thank you, Lena and Mai. The first song is "The Day That Never Comes." Actually, this is gonna be the only song. So I lead with Blasted, and he leads with that Hellhound. He misses with Fire Blast, so I think the Fire Blast actually missed. And so I paralyzed him, set up my rocks. So he goes for the Sucker Punch, and that's going to do a good bit, but I'm Bold Nature, Max HP, no, Calm. Max HP, Max Defense. So the Thunderbolt doesn't really do too much, and he's like weird set, and I'm thinking, yeah, I guess you could say it. And he misses with Will-O-Wisp, and I actually did not notice the Will-O-Wisp miss, so I just now noticed that. So he goes into, "Don't mock me!" Well, why wouldn't I want to mock that thing? Why would I want to? So I paralyzed him, I'm like, ha! And so, I use Psychic, and it does a little bit, does a decent bit, and then he puts up Light Screen. I'm like, crap, because you know that's going to really cut down on my everything. So I just go into my custom set, Registeel, my awhile, and I get the Parahax. So I go for Charge Beam, it doesn't miss, and I'm like, okay, and I don't get the special attack boost. And I'm like, So he paralyzes me, and I'm like, Parahax is like, oh my god. So, Parahax again. And he gets the wish up. I'm like, oh wow, it was like, what, 4 Parahax in a row? And I get Parahax again. And he gets Parahax again. And his wish comes true. So it's like, oh. So I go for another Charge Beam. I'm like, alright, I gotta get this thing somehow set up. And I get the special attack boost. I'm like, booyah. And he sets the Light Screen again. And I'm like, no. And I missed a Charge Beam. So, wow, I just screwed up my music. So, sorry about that. So it goes back into Hellhound, which is going to, because of Light Screen, survive that Charge Beam. And he gets health back from Wish. But I'm at like plus 2 or 3 special attack now. Parahax, Charge Beam. It's like, bah! And I get the special attack boost again. But he gets the Fire Blast off, and I'm like, oh my god, can I live? Can my EV spread make me live? And I'm like, hell yeah! But I miss the Charge Beam, I'm like, aww. But I get Parahax, so I'm like, booyah. And so I get another Charge Beam off, and that has enough power. I think I'm a plus 4 special attack now to take him down. But unfortunately, I'm like solo in health. Then he goes into his Primate. His I'm happy. Don't look too happy. And he knocks out my eye wall all, which doesn't wall all anymore. So I go on to Yuxi. I'm like, I gotta paralyze that thing. But he goes back into Don't Mock Me. Very nice prediction on his part. So I'm like, alright. I know he's going to Thunder Wave, probably. So I'm just gonna go for the Psychic, which is going to do a decent bit, because I got a crit, of course. Parahax. Leftovers everywhere. Oh, and that was my cat. My cat walked in front of the screen. Camera, so. And, I get the special defense drop. Thunder Wave, and I'm like, well, alright. Battle of the Slows. He goes on to Cactus H5, I'm like, I get Parahax, which is alright, because I was going to use Psychic. And I was going to go for Thunder Wave again, but of course he predicts me. So I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, alright, there's got to be a way I can get him. So I go to run my pink to gold, because see, it starts off pink and goes to gold-ish. Anyways, so I go for the Substitute. And, he goes for the Wish, so I'm like, alright, I can deal with that. And I go for the Calm Mind, because it's sub-Calm Mind Mesper. It's the Smogon set. So, yeah. Then he goes for the S-Toss, and I'm like, I'm looking all over Smogon, and I'm like, wow. He's got a straight-up Smogon set. So he gets his wish to come true, and I go for the Substitute. And he goes for another S-Toss. So I'm like, alright, well, I guess I can just start hitting him just to get damage on him. So I go for the Psychic. And, it doesn't do too much. So I'm like, bugger. And his Light Screen wore off, and I'm like, yes! In before no crit. As I'm like, oh, what if I get a crit? What if I get a crit? No crit. I'm like, yay, Parahax. So I'm like, can I take him out, though? So yeah, ha! Pink to gold mocked you! So it goes down to Cactus H5, and I'm like, oh my god, Scarf! because he outran me, and I'm like, oh. Because at that point, I was like, oh, wait, I brought 4 psychics to a, oh my god, So he goes on, you smell good, which I'm going to Thunder Wave. And now I know my Uxie can't do really anything to this Meganium. So I'm going to go out into Tito! And, that was unexpected. Swagger, and I'm like, okay, so my attack's at like 700 now. I just gotta hope I don't hurt myself in confusion, because he goes into Stripper. It's a really... it's a really funny name for a pseudo-Woodhill. Okay, so I get some decent damage with Fire Fang, and I go on to Sunkissed! The SP on there has really been propelling me through this tournament. And, of course, he hits with Stone Edge. And because pseudo-Woodhill sucks generally, you know, pronus. So, I get Grass Knot, and it does a good bit for not being very effective, Life Orbed. And he's like, I'm just gonna let you die from Life Orb recoil, so I'm gonna, like, Signal Beam this thing, because at this point I know I can tear down some of his team. And I do not know why he went for a Substitute. I have no clue, so I just go for a Psychic to take out his Meganium. So he goes back out into Stripper. And, he switches into Cactus HH5. Predicting the Grass Knot. I was like, I should have Signal Beamed, because I could have made his roll really aggravating. So he goes back on to Stripper, which I do Signal Beam. And that's going to take out Stripper, and my Sunkissed is going to die from Life Orb. Hi, Sunkissed. So I go back out into Blast It! And he goes back into Cactus HH5, and I'm like, I know I can take at least 1 Dark Pulse. Probably 2. And I'm like, about 2. So I'm going to Thunder Wave him. And I know he's Choice Scarf, so I know he's still going to outrun me after Paralyzation. So he goes for another Dark Pulse, and I'm like, oh, crap. And I'm like, 4 HP, I'm like, yeah, boy! So, there goes Cactus HH5. I'm like, alright, he's down to 1 more. I've got Gardevoir and Tito sitting in the wings. So he goes for the U-turn, which is obviously going to go, Poon! My Blast It. So, out comes Tito! And, I'm going to get the Fire Fang off, which I'm surprised I outran it, because I thought he was going to run Jolly Nature, which is, it would outrun my Arcanine. But because of the Intimidate, I'm going to live this with 71 HP, and he's going to die from Life Orb recoil damage. So good game, NightNHawk. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys go check out his channel. Sub him. He's a really good battler. Go check out T-Flare, and stay tuned with me as I advance to the Elite 8. Peace.